Hello and welcome to Boring Dad Gaming, where today we're going to be playing a different game, one that's currently still in early access, but it's one that's very good to play already. It's called The Last Spell. It's kind of like a horde mode strategy game type thing. We'll find out more when we launch into it in a second. It's sort of got this pretty cool pixel art, and once it gets going, even the menu music here is just pretty good. So we'll just let it build up a sec. There we go. It's a game that's it's quite difficult. Even on sort of the easy mode, I think that we're going to be playing it on. It's quite challenging. Hopefully we can progress a little bit though, to give you an idea. We're going to reset the campaign that I've already started, which should... Yeah, so we'll be starting from scratch. I think when it releases fully anyway, all the saves get wiped, so there's nothing to lose really by doing that. So we're going to start a new campaign here. We'll let the intro run. Oh, I've got to click. Hang on. So the idea is it's a land sort of beset by war, and this sorcerer character is he's developed a spell that's going to end all wars, and he's testing it on a small village. It looks like he's going to end all wars by killing people, which is, I mean, it's one way of doing it, I suppose. Right, okay, so yeah, so he's killed off a visiting royal family. And the king of that family, the father of princess, or it looks like something like that, ordered his mages to research this new magic, so he's going to recreate it for himself. And they're taking their turn, so it's, you know, it's a bit like a nuclear war, I suppose. Now all the kingdoms are researching this magic, and they're all killing each other by the look of it. There's no more war. Everyone's dead. Around the rubble of the remaining cities, a strange mist appears, and it's from this mist that the monsters are going to emerge around the towns that we start in. We basically play a small group of survivors who don't really have any way to communicate with each other, so each level that you do, each city that you're in is kind of standalone, and once you complete it, they kind of get a sign in the sky that we're starting to fight back against these clawers. They're like undead, I suppose. Really, they're not called that, but that's pretty much what they are. They're trying to research a way to drive back this mist in this purple magic, the so-called Last Spell that the game's named after. So in each town that we're going to be in, there's this summoning circle with one wizard by it, and you can hire more that extend the health pool for that. It's kind of in a tower defense game. It's kind of like the sort of heart of the city, and if the monsters get there and cause enough damage to it, they'll destroy it, and then that's your run over basically. So it's a bit like a roguelite. There is sort of permanent progress. You can unlock new weapons and skills and bonuses and things that do persist between runs. So if it's game over for you, it's not the end. You know, the next run you start, you'll be starting in a better position than the previous one, hopefully, if you've managed to unlock some stuff. Loading. It's not a particularly big game. Hopefully the load times will be reasonable. Here we go. So we're being welcomed in. We've been given a goal. So this is the tutorial, effectively. We've been given a goal. We must protect this magic circle that I mentioned until the mages there have been able to cast the last spell. And that happens after a certain set number of nights. So your daytimes are kind of spent building buildings, healing your heroes, buying new weapons at the shop, that sort of thing. And at night is when all the monsters come out and you have to fight them back. You have to destroy them all. It's saying our losing conditions are if all our heroes are dead. We start with 3. You can unlock more as you play. Probably not straight away. It's via a building that will take us a little time to unlock. And also if the magic circle's destroyed. And I think each wizard gives it a certain amount of health, so it can take a couple of hits initially. So, you know, if an enemy slips through and has an attack on your magic circle, it's not the end. You can still sort of catch them up and get rid of them. Just talking about the different phases, but we'll talk about those as we do them. So this is our very first starting city, and you can see at the edges of the city where there's sort of 4 lines of mist around, but the tutorial area makes things a bit simpler. We're starting off on a bridge by the look of it, and there's only 2 sides that the monsters can come from, and already you get told which direction the monsters are going to come from. So you can position your heroes, you can put up a bit of a defense if possible. We don't have any resources by the look of it, so we're going to have a very basic defense here where, let's see, so we start off with, maybe I click on their portraits. Where can I see their character screens? Character sheet, here we go. So we have Tomaz, who each of your heroes has certain innate traits that give you bonuses or sort of negative bonuses, if you like. So here we can see he's a bit better with physical damage, which probably means he's a melee fighter. We can see he's got a rusty hammer and a shield, a bit of armor. He's innately got a bit more armor. So although, you know, we get 10 from our top, we get none from our trousers. There must be something else that gives us a bit more armor. I'm not sure. But in any case, we start with 35, which isn't bad. He's slow, so being able to move a lot of squares to get to different enemies is quite important. So having this sort of malus of -2 moves is not very good at all. It's not very promising. I don't know if these heroes in the tutorial are kind of set or whether they're a bit more random than that, but we'll have to deal with this anyway. A bit more crit power, he's okay. So if we scroll across, we've got Prisha, who looks to be an archer. She's got a bow there. She's got the armor. Now she must have something that takes away armor, because she starts with 10 there, but she's got a 0. So yeah, so her traits actually take away 15 of her armor. Less magic damage, not a problem. She won't really have any spells. So this is it. This Savage. She has more critical damage, but less armor. But as an archer, she's not going to be in the thick of the action anyway, so that's not too bad for her. And Straggler, so she also loses move points. Hopefully our third character, who's going to be a mage, starting with a wand, bit of armor. She doesn't have any movement points reduced, luckily. Yeah, this is where we're going to start. And we'll just position the melee fighter sort of towards the front. And both of these we'll keep a bit back, just to sort of give him some range to support. And when you're ready, there's not much else to do at the start of this tutorial. As I say, we don't have any money, we don't have any resources, so all we can really do is just start. Oh, no, where do we start? End phase. Here we go. So monsters have emerged from the mist, and here, again, this is just the tutorial screen that we're given. So we're just being told that we have to fight until all the monsters are dead. We can move our heroes and use their skills in any order. So, you know, we can move and attack, or we can attack and move, or one or the other. That's all fine. At the end of the night, if you've been successful, you get levels of rewards. And if enemies get within your sort of city borders, it causes the buildings to panic. The people in the buildings to panic. And the higher the panic level, the less rewards you get at the end of the night. So there we go. Heroes have 2 weapon sets we can swap between. I think we only start with 1. There are some hotkeys, that's fine. So we're going to close. We're just going to get started here. Now you can select your heroes in any order as well. They're still quite far away. We can probably do a bit of damage on them already with our archer. So we see down here they've got different skills. They've got a precise shot which attacks a single target at a decent range. They've got a power shot which does more damage. You can see there it does not quite but almost twice as much damage. Shorter range. And you're limited to only using this twice per turn. But it's more inaccurate, so we've got less chance of hitting with that. Oh, we have this, which is a good starting skill. It's a tight volley, and this is actually going to attack a sort of 2x3 square of enemies. So when the enemies are clustered quite closely, that's a good one to do. Rain of Arrows is similarly, it has a sort of, it attacks 7 squares in this pattern. It's a bit harder to hit all the squares, so it might be something that you use a bit less. And a couple of, we can punch someone or brace ourselves to get a bit more armour, so we don't need to do either of those. What we're going to do is see if we choose this type volley. Now we can see the range on our attack here, it's this orange band, and actually as an archer you can see that if an enemy is in sort of within melee range, you actually can't attack them. So it's within this orange field that we can attack an enemy, so if we just cancel that for now. We can move this far, and this is where the sort of move distance comes into play. So she can move this far, and in fact is not going to be able to hit anything still, which is a shame. But we can sort of hit that. Still not. How about this? We can hit 2 enemies with that. Maybe we'll do it just to see it in action. You probably, because everything costs mana here. We know we have 21 mana points on this character. This particular skill will use 2 attack points. We have 4. 2 action points, we have 4 of those, and 4 mana points, which only recharge somewhat at the end of the night. But we'll do this. We've killed one enemy, and another one is right down in health. He's almost dead. So we're going to bring our mage forward now. We'll have a quick look at the range. She's similar in range, sort of 8 tiles away for the most part. We'll bring her all the way up and see if we can hit anything with any of these. Sword of Damocles, that's kind of a single target damage spell. It says there it actually ignores 50% of the target's attack resistance, I think that is. Transfer, which can restore action points and move points to other people, so that's actually not too bad. It doesn't cost any mana either, and we can cast that twice. I'll probably end up using that maybe next turn. Magic missiles here, which will hit only one target initially, but as you'll see, as we level up, these skills that are tagged with multi-hits, you can actually sometimes add new targets to a multi-hit skill. Oh, it actually does say 1 to 4, so there it says targets 1. Oh, multi-hits times 4, it says under effects at the bottom there. So we can attack 1, 2, say those 4 with that spell. And we haven't killed anyone though. They are bleeding though. They're bleeding for... If I click him, will that stay? No, he won't persist. But he's going to be bleeding a certain amount per turn. So he may even die before he reaches our fighters. We have 2 more action points though, so what we can do is using this Sword of Damocles, maybe we'll finish off the 2 closest to us. So he's gone, and he's gone. We still have some action points over here, but we can't hit anything else, so we'll hold there. What we'll do, we'll brace just in case anything's able to get to us. They won't, because we can see how far they can move with those red tiles. And with our melee fighter, all we can really do is just bring him up a bit, and again we'll just brace him. So if anything does reach him, he could take a bit more punishment, but they won't. And we'll end our first turn. So more enemies are piling in, and we can see up here we're progressing towards this end, which is the end of the night. So we're already 2/3 of the way through this night, this very first night in the tutorial. We're doing okay. You can already see sort of in the mist there's more enemies that are preparing to come through. And our melee fighter can just about get into the action now. So he's got a few skills. He can sort of bash a single target for quite high damage. He can crush, which affects 2 enemies in a row, so him and whoever would be standing behind him. Or he can stomp, which will affect enemies in a circle around him. I think it does damage, lots of damage to the centre tile, and the sort of 7 tiles around that gets stunned, I believe. Yeah, 60% chance to stun. again, we're only really hitting 2 people, so I think probably all we'll do here is just bash this target, and he's dead already. Now, we have action points remaining, so we will brace this time, because he's going to take a few hits next time as these people push up, as these enemies push up. We can perhaps protect him a little bit, though, by finishing some of these off, because there's sort of a group of enemies here. If we can attack them in a block. We've worn a few of them down, so what it might be good to do, we could even do this rain of arrows, perhaps. Maybe target a few of those again. And yeah, we've killed off a bunch of those. That's all her action points, though. And now we have the mage. We have the magic missiles again. There's quite a big group. I wish there was more sort of AoE on this character. There's not, unfortunately, so we're pretty limited to perhaps doing a couple of these magic missiles. Didn't do amazing damage, did it? I might move her up here, and I might finish off these 2 who are on low health. Maybe here, might kill him. And maybe him over there. Yeah, so that's... If we have a bit more movement on these 2 characters, so we can move them back a little bit. Now our fighter, I think there's maybe 2 or 3 enemies there who are close enough to come into him. So we'll see what happens when they attack. Yeah, just the one. And his armour blocked that, so he didn't take any health damage, which is good. And now there's quite a few promising groups of clustered enemies here, so we'll definitely try and find a tile where we can hit 6 of them. We'll hit 5 of them there. If we move forward a tile, or maybe move over here, we might be able to find a cluster of 6. There we go, so we can hit 6 enemies with that attack, which is good. Done a decent amount. A bit worried about this cluster here that's sort of pushing forward with no one attacking them, so maybe we can sort of thin out their numbers a little bit with something like this. There we go, so we're actually hitting another 6 there. And did well, we took out a few of them there, didn't we? So if we probably want to use our melee person now, and we can use that crush that hits 2. There's a line of 2 here. We'll hopefully get both of those, and we do. Let's move him up here. We can do another one of those. Get rid of them. And it's tempting to maybe use this stomp. I know he's going to be sort of within a bit of damage range here, but we can do this and hopefully stun some of these enemies. And that little star shows they are stunned, so that little cluster of 4 won't be able to do anything. And maybe we'll just pull him back a little bit so that, you know, I think he might be safe there actually from attack. Should be. Maybe. I think they generally head towards the town, so she'll head forward rather than towards our fighter. What we'll do with our mage, we'll maybe bring her up behind. We'll finish off some of these lower health enemies. Maybe her as she's at the front. We'll use a single action point on that. And is that it? We have 1 action point, don't we? Can't do an awful lot, but maybe we could put some damage into him. Didn't really get through the armour though. So we'll end the turn. And all the enemies are out now. We can see here that there's 25 remaining enemies on the screen now. And to end the night, all we have to do is finish. All we have to do is finish all those off. Well, that looks like a good crush target to me. Might just switch to the mage here and just do that sort of magic miss. Oh no, like the archer, we can't cast our spells on enemies that are too close to us. So if we move her out there, then we can hit them and them. Maybe finish off some of these who are on lower health. That's pretty good. Again, it might be tempting to do a bit of a... If I come in here, maybe do a... Don't really want to position him too much in the line of fire, though, is the only thing. We've got another crush we can use. So perhaps we'll come up here and do that. Again, didn't finish them off, unfortunately. We do have our archer, who can provide a bit of support. Now, you can see with her, we've only got sort of 5 mana points remaining, and you know, the skills we want to be using do use a fair bit. If I move her forward a square. I think it's worth doing this, though. Hit six enemies. Killing 1. Shame we couldn't do more. We can sort of Sword of Damocles, the nearest ones. Take those out with the running. And 2 reaction points remaining. Well, we can do sort of single target attacks maybe. In fact, if we come in here And hopefully we can finish them off in one turn. And we do. Now all these ones who are injured, they can't move. I think we must have... one of the attacks we've done must have harmed their movement points. They're not going anywhere. So actually, we're only really open to attack from one of these monsters right now. So we'll end the turn again. 16 remaining. But he's dodged that actually. That's quite nice. So what I might do here... Oh, hang on. There we go. So what we might do is another crush on these two. I'm guessing it's the crush that's stopping their movement. We only have 3 mana left, but I think it's worth doing another one there to target 6 enemies and hopefully get rid of some of them. 2 more points, so we'll just try and target a couple of these. Get rid of those. Down to the last 11 now. I think another crush here should finish off these ones. Looks like a single target there should finish that. Archer's done, but we still have our mage, which is handy. Magic Missiles uses a lot of mana. We've only got 7. We won't be able to recover all of this. We do have 4 points. We can hit 4 people with our Sword of Damocles, so let's... I probably shouldn't have chosen the armoured enemy. It's not really getting through that, is it? I kind of feel committed to taking him down now. So we've got 1 more left. Let's take down... maybe her. She's nearly gone. And we'll just pull back a little bit with these ranged characters. There's only five enemies left, so we're nearly done here on the first night. They're attacking our barricade, that's fine. Melee fighter, maybe we'll just, give these a bit of a basic hit. I think there's one hiding there behind the post. If we move up again and get him. Got all 3 of those. There's only 2 left now, so I think hopefully we can just sort of pick at them with arrows, even though he's got decent armour. We can just take him down. So we've got 1 more. We can move her up a bit. And hopefully our mage can just sort of follow up with her basic attack and finish him off. There we go. So enemies are dead, and now it's morning again, and now we're into the next phase, which is the production phase. We've got S rank for that. We didn't take any damage. We got all the enemies. No buildings got hit. Didn't really expect to on the first day of the tutorial, but still good. And there we go. Here are rewards. So we got 100 gold, 100 just general resources. There we go. Materials, and a new item. Night 1. Well, that was easy, and it was. And we can see night 2, what we're going to do is we're going to get attacked from the south this time. And here it talks about the production phase. So we've got, I think, 2 workers at the moment. We can get them either demolishing something or building something else. If we have any buildings that produce stuff, they'll do it in this phase. And we can knock down some of the ruins using a worker to get gold or materials, or a bit of both. The heroes level up. So we'll do that in this phase if that's what they have. So they're level 2. So what I think we'll do here is, now that we've sort of introduced this game a little bit, I think we'll leave it here for now. And in the next session we'll level up our heroes, we'll have a bit of building time in the town, and then we'll hopefully survive the second night. And yeah, come back for more. If you like this video, then please do like and subscribe. That'd be great. And we'll hopefully see you next time.